Welcome to Horror Year, where every story is a journey into the unknown. If you're brave enough to face your darkest fears and uncover the most chilling tales, you've come to the right place. So, dim the lights, turn up the volume, and subscribe to Horror Year. Your journey into terror begins now. Kidnapping is one of the most harrowing experiences a person can endure, and it often happens in the most unexpected and seemingly safe places. From a quiet gas station in a small town to a bustling neighborhood park or a lonely highway late at night, danger can lurk where we least expect it. The following tales explore the chilling reality of kidnapping, where ordinary moments suddenly spiral into unimaginable terror. These stories are not just about survival, but about the enduring scars left by these encounters, reminding us of the fragility of safety and the importance of vigilance. On her way home from a friend's house on a chilly winter's night in a small Oregonian town, Emily, then 17, made a stop at the neighborhood gas station. There were not many cars in the area, and it was calm. After pulling her car up next to the pump, Emily got out and started filling up her tank. A few spots away, she observed an older, dilapidated van, but she didn't give it much attention. Just as she was filling up, a man came over from the van's direction. He had disheveled hair, a scruffy appearance, and an aura of nervousness. He said his battery had died and asked Emily if she could help him jump-start his van. Emily nodded, always willing to lend a hand. She was suddenly struck with a wave of anxiety as she approached his van. The man appeared restless, looking around as though he was anticipating something. Emily was pushed inside the vehicle by a man who had leaped out of the rear before she had a chance to react. Her car remained at the gas station, abandoned as the van drove off into the night. Days passed, and Emily's family was inconsolable with anxiety. After a thorough search and the call to the police, no leads were found. Emily was stolen from the petrol station according to security footage, but it was hard to find Emily because the van's license plate was hidden. The family of Emily never gave up. A hiker found an abandoned cabin miles from the closest road, deep in the woods a few weeks later. Inside, he discovered Emily, frail but still alive, shackled to a bed. Her captors had left to avoid the increasing number of police officers in the neighborhood, so they had held her there. Despite being saved and returned to safety, Emily never fully recovered from the trauma of her captivity. She never found out who had kidnapped her, and the memory of that rusty van at the gas station still terrifies her. Tommy, 10 years old, cherished his after-school trips to the park. His parents felt at ease allowing him and his pals to play in the neighborhood since it was safe. Tommy went to the park by himself one day, excited to take his new skateboard for a spin on the slick surfaces. One of the friendly-looking men approached him as he was practicing his stunts. Mr. Johnson, as he was called, told Tommy that he was a professional skateboarder once. Tommy listened intently as the man gave pointers and guidance, hoping to pick up some new skills. After some time, Tommy was asked by Mr. Johnson if he would like to see some pretty cool skateboards that were located just around the corner in his van. Tommy followed him out of the park, trusting the man who had shown him such kindness. However, as soon as they got to the van, the man grabbed Tommy and pushed him inside before closing the doors. Tommy's skateboard was left on the sidewalk, abandoned as the van took off. When Tommy failed to return home that evening, his parents were inconsolable. A search was conducted when the police were summoned, but since there were no witnesses, the lead soon dried up. Weeks passed, and there was less and less possibility of locating Tommy. Then one evening, a girl from a nearby town saw a boy by himself walking the streets. In addition to being filthy and unkempt, he seemed afraid. She knew who he was from the news and rang the cops right away. Tommy was there. He had been held captive in a small, run-down house, but he had managed to get out. Tommy had gotten away from his kidnapper after only a few minutes of being alone. The kidnapper had left long before the cops located the house. Tommy's experience left him with psychological wounds, even after he was reunited with his family. The stranger who dragged him away permanently changed his carefree upbringing, and he never went back to the park. Rachel, who is 22 years old, was returning home late one evening after going to see her boyfriend. There were very few cars on the roadway and it was largely deserted. She saw a car trailing closely behind her as she was driving. She didn't give it much thought at first, but as the miles went by, the automobile followed closely behind her, occasionally flashing its headlights. Feeling nervous, Rachel took the next exit, hoping to misplace the vehicle. But the automobile pursued her out of the highway. She tried to shake the automobile as she accelerated, but it kept up with her and her heart pounded. Rachel thought she may find protection inside the abandoned rest stop when she panicked and pulled into it. But before she could respond, a man leaped out of the car behind her and grabbed her as she was getting out of it. Her automobile was left abandoned at the rest area when he forcibly got her into his vehicle and drove off. When Rachel failed to come home, her friends and family became quite worried. An inquiry was launched once the police were notified, however, there were not many leads. The rest stop security cameras caught the moment she was stolen, but the man's automobile was never found. Weeks passed, and hope started to dwindle. Then a truck driver came upon a lost and barefoot young woman strolling down a distant section of the roadway. She introduced herself to him as Rachel as he pulled over to assist her. After being imprisoned in a tiny windowless room, Rachel was able to get free when her captor left the door unlocked. Before discovering the roadway, she spent days lost in the woods. After alerting the authorities, Rachel was taken to safety. Although Rachel's abductor was never found, her bravery in fleeing provided her family with the miracle they had hoped for. Even though she made it through the ordeal, she will never be able to drive alone at night again because of the horrific night she spent being taken on the interstate. These terrifying tales serve as a sobering reminder that kidnapping poses a genuine threat and that nightmares can materialize out of the most routine circumstances. Even if the victims were fortunate to live, the terror they experienced will always alter them.